Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. When we meet together for a practice, mindfulness practice and meditation on Wednesdays, my hope for us is that we leave feeling recharged, refreshed, and ready for the day ahead. Today, I hope you leave feeling extra grateful and a bit more in tune with yourself. So I hope that you enjoy this practice. When or if and when you can, leave your spot. Head somewhere comfy. And hey, if your spot is super comfy, don't worry about going anywhere. If you're staying in your desk chair, that's wonderful. But what I do recommend if you're in a chair, pretend this is my chair, is that you'll back all the way up to the very back of your seat so that you can use the back of it against your hips and use the chair back to help support a really long spine, which can be a lot more supportive than sitting in the middle of a room. But the benefit of sitting in the middle of the room is that we build up our core muscles, we build up our spinal strength. So take anything that you need, the most comfortable place to be. And if you feel like you made a bad decision throughout the practice, don't worry to make a change. Move to a wall or change the way you're seated so you can refine comfort. So I've gotten something really cozy today. I just took a blanket off the couch down here. I'm sitting upon a cushion. There's nothing that you need fancy to practice. I prefer cross-legged. And if you are on the floor, one other adjustment really can be helpful is to boost your hips. You'd sit a little higher under the hips than the knees in order to help the front of your hips start to open. When you've gotten yourself to a comfy spot, let's take a little bit of movement so we feel that we can settle together. With really heavy, relaxed arms, shoulder circles backwards. Let's keep the arms low. You can even drop them by your sides. Come in to your breath, finding one breath for a rotation, opposite breath for your next rotation. As many more of these as it feels helpful. And once you feel a little warm and gooey in your shoulder socket, we'll set them back and down, feeling wide across the chest. Leave arms low and long. We'll drop our chins towards our chest here and expose the back of our neck. Try to open those vertebrae. Bring a sense of softness to your face. You can slip your eyes closed right away if that feels safe and comfy for you. We'll definitely unclench our jaws. Teeth are separated, lips are really soft, they may be parted as well. Take a small roll right ear towards your right shoulder. Feel free to stay as you are or lift your chin just a little bit towards the sky. Tuck it back down towards your right collarbone and roll back through the center, moving to your left. We can lift and lower the chin for a little extra neck stretching. Moving off to your right. When you're ready, just move slowly here, intuitively taking what you need during and from your practice. Let's take another round, inhaling in one direction, exhaling in the other. And we'll try 2 more neck stretches and then settle. Take your neck all the way back up long, eyes forward, and we'll just try to lift our chin. I almost try to push my bottom jaw out a little bit, stretching into your throat. Now we are compressing the back of the neck here just for a second, yogis. And then I like to do some weird things with the jaw, like, you know how you move your jaw like you're trying to pop your ears on an airplane? That little wiggle forward and back, a little side to side, can really help you stretch out your throat. Kind of weird, but feels so good. All right, bring eyes back to me. And this time we'll clasp our hands behind our skull. Try to find a nice round holding spot in the back of your skull there. Tuck your chin back to your chest and wrap elbows a little forward. Now stay tall, but we're gonna use the weight of our arms here to try to stretch really deeply down the backs of our necks. And you might feel it moving into your shoulder blade area, right between them. Wherever you're noticing sensation, let's take a breath to it. Softening through your jaw and your facial features again. And bring yourself back to me when you're ready. If you get antsy, don't forget, make a change, come back to comfort. Welcome to your practice. Thank you for joining us today. Remember that we are exactly where we need to be. All things on the list will still be there when we get done taking good care of ourselves today. I invite you to join me dropping eyes. I like to look right down to the floor. And rather than closing my eyes completely, I shut mine to little slits, so I'm looking through my lashes, but things look very unfocused and blurry. Therefore, nothing will catch your attention. Drop in and close them completely if that feels better for you. And as we begin, let's take a moment to paint a picture in our minds. How we want to feel, perhaps we can see that. Let's say I wanted to feel happier as I left practice. I might envision this big golden sunshine emanating from my heart space or maybe my mind, like I was being guided by bright light today. Paint a picture in your mind of what you'd like to achieve. For example, we may hope that we leave class with vibrant energy. Maybe a newfound sense of creativity, more kindness towards ourselves or others, a sense of passion for practice, bringing in feelings of being nurtured. We're moving forward today with productivity or manifesting abundance. Anything goes. It's so amazing to know that we can manifest and cultivate whatever we desire with practice. So now you have your goal, your dream, your hope in your mind. Picture yourself living with this energy. Envision yourself, like in Fast Forward, going through your entire day, your routine today. Visualize yourself existing with this newfound sense of energy, or enlightenment, blissfulness, achieving something that you hope to do, because it is possible. Everything you need is within you. We're going to try to tap in here and open up to our infinite potential, find our powers within. Let's picture ourselves letting go of what's no longer serving us. When I envision this in my mind, I literally see myself like tossing away with each hand what I no longer want or wish to hold on to. You could see it trickling out of your pockets or falling off the back of your hair. Letting go. We may not be fully ready to commit to something that big yet, but we can start the process by seeing it. Let go of what is not serving us. If we do a little practice like this, just a mental envisioning of what we want to bring in and what we want to let go, we will eventually begin to live it. It will become our reality. Something that took maybe, less than a minute, right? So if we have an elevator ride or a walk to the trash can and back, there's so many times where we can fit in that little imagery. You owe it to yourself. Let's come together and rest our attention on our breath. And why don't we start with a little bit of connection and positivity today? So as we breathe, we'll just take it slowly, not force it, not change it, just see where the breath is today. But as we do, we're going to try to scan through our bodies, from our toes to our heads, and connect as we go. We'll start a little lightly. Can we send that breath down towards our fingers? I like to give them a little wiggle, like they lit up with that breath. Our palms, the backs of our hands, our wrists, inside and out, and then up the arms. Forearms, elbows, upper arms, even your armpits and your shoulders. It's kind of like a sense of bringing in good energy and then flushing out what we don't need. Let's move into, our torsos, breathing into your belly if possible. Might be a little early in practice to actually feel your belly move, but If you can soften your stomach, it will allow you to fully breathe and receive some nourishing breaths. Feeling our chests, or at least envisioning our chests, filling and softening as you let go. We're dropping within here. We're trying to, just for a short time, let go of the outside world. Send your breath down your legs to your toes. I like to give them a little wiggle of acknowledgement. I find that it makes it a little easier to see that breath reaching the toes if I kind of give it a wiggle, like it has a point to reach to. Stay with your legs as the breath releases. Over top and bottom of foot, ankle joints, lower leg inside and out, knee joints and thighs. Now our torsos, our arms and heavy through the legs, getting a little bit softer, allowing gravity to sink in. Let's move through our back bodies. Sits bones, wherever you're connected to something, it might be along your back side or your actual spine. Feel that connection deepen. Stay long in our spine, yet soft, not rigid. Scan through from east to west, top to bottom, inside and out. And finally, moving, my favorite way to move. I like to envision this circular breath all around your neck, your skull. So we're releasing our hair follicles, releasing the tension on our faces. It's a big thing now to see those TikTok trends where people are, let's say, in gym clothes, and then it, flashes to some amazingly fancy outfits. So you go from one end of the spectrum to the other. But I think about that in our meditation because we might go from like our frowny concentration face or our tension face into our 1 second later smooth, relaxed face. That translates when the muscles release, your whole mind, your whole attitude follows suit. It just feels better. And once you've scanned through, coming back within, to find this sense of positivity in our practice today, let's bring our minds to a pleasurable experience that you've had. Maybe this is something from childhood that you often think about, or it's something that you recently had, and it can be so simple. It can be your ritualistic cup of coffee or tea or warm water, whatever you like every day. It can be a really yummy meal that you enjoyed with loved ones. Time spent with friends. Or maybe you saw, oh, I know what we saw recently, that amazing strawberry moon. If you got to witness that the past 2 nights, that is such a beautiful sight to behold. So I'm going to be grateful and positive about that today. But if you didn't see that, that's okay. We've had some amazing sunsets as well. Perhaps you were up early and you caught a sunrise. Any pleasurable experience that you feel especially grateful for. Maybe it's a pet. Pets are always happy to see us. Maybe it's a quiet moment like we have together, coming into a happy place. Let's simply rest here and see what comes to our minds. Can you fill yourself up with emotions and sensations that you experienced in these moments? And it's okay if nothing's coming to mind. If that's the case for you, simply rest in the gratefulness that you have dedicated time to practice. mindfulness, awareness, loving compassion today, giving ourselves the gift of time. And as we begin to set with this gratitude, or our recollection if we dug up a memory, what are you experiencing as you revisit this? Are there emotions or changes in your heart, your mind, or your body that are present? What is the interplay between anything that is arising? There's never a wrong answer here. We are being the noticer, the observer, seeing what comes and goes, what changes. Have you created any spaces by breathing today that you can now allow these grateful and positive emotions to seep more deeply into? Begin to radiate joy from our moment of gratitude or our recaptured experience, and try to breathe that into every single cell of your body. Feel really good. You can be very proud of the quality rest and rejuvenation that you're giving yourself right now as you take the time to sit, to be still, be present, and breathe. Let's bring something to mind that we love about ourselves. It can be our attitude, our energy, our very loving heart. Maybe we wear our heart on our sleeves and we love that about ourselves. Perhaps it's the strong bones that carry us through life every day. Maybe it's your mind. You're really smart and you're super proud of that. Is it something physical like your smile, your eyes? Just recognize and observe how good that feels. How deeply you can love this one or many parts of yourself. And breathe into this feeling of love. Feels warm, doesn't it? If you observe the energy you're breathing in, now that we have a positive, compassionate, loving focus, doesn't it change the way we feel? And then can we give ourselves permission? It's hard to do, but we'll at least give ourselves permission to release dislikes, fears, anxieties, or judgments. It's a tall order, so perhaps we just shed a layer of that. As we take an inhalation full of that positivity and compassion and love, let's allow the exhale to leave behind some or all toxic feelings and emotions. Take what you love, hold it close to your heart, focus dearly on it, and recognize the connection between the rest of your physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies. Breathe and spread some of that loving kindness towards yourself. And let's release any physical or mental abuse we may have inflicted upon areas of our being throughout the times in our life. We're all hard on ourselves. We're our own biggest critics. So let's just try to release that for now. moving into thinking about a way you make yourself really proud. Who are you as a friend to another human being? Can you find those loving, compassionate, understanding parts of you that you give to your friend every day? Criticism comes really naturally to us, so it's really nice to take the time. You deserve to sit with these feelings of pride and compassion. Cultivate a sense of appreciation for yourself. Beautiful, loving things about who you are that you may not be able to see by looking in a mirror. What you give and do for others is such a true testament to who you are inside. You're more than this physical body. You're more than numbers on a scale or in a bank account. You're more than grades in classes if we're doing continuing education. You're more than what anyone has ever told you you're capable of. You're more than your job title. You are more than how anyone else has ever viewed you physically or created an opinion of you. You are more than any labels that you imposed upon yourself or another has imposed upon you. You are more than all the recognition that you will ever receive in the entire world. You are more than every single mistake you've made, than your insecurities. You're more than your background. You are more than the negativity we inflict upon ourselves or comments from others. And if you're into social media, you're more than any number of followers that you have. So let's release anything that has brought us down in the past, anything you have shunned about yourself, and make a promise to one another and to ourselves that we will embrace everything that we have loved about ourselves even more tightly. Become aware to all that you are and all that you can be when you guide yourself forward with a sense of compassion. Letting go of the desire to control the outcome, because we are worthy of this deep sense of love and connectedness, and knowing that all is exactly as it should be. Let's return right back to where we started today. In the beginning, we took a few moments and we painted a picture, we conjured up an image in our head of what we had hoped to achieve today, what we want to feel, how we wanted our energy to be expressed. We pictured ourselves living with this energy. Now, how can we sustain it? Let's consider returning to our breath, to these mental snapshots as often as we can, in order to reground ourselves, recenter ourselves to our ultimate goals, wanting to feel our very best. Let's try to go through the rest of our days today and the rest of the week until we meet again, and envision yourself moving and interacting with this newfound open, free energy. Letting go of what's no longer serving us. Remember, we can toss it aside or let it fall from us. Commit regularly to this practice of envisioning where you want to be. Practice until you begin to live what you had only hoped or dreamed of before. This is your birthright. You are worthy and deserving. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope that you feel loved. I'm so grateful for our community to practice together, and I cannot wait to see you next week. Until then, take great care. My light treasures you. Namaste.